So many times when we're working with data, we may not want to spend the time to acquire, say, remotely sensed data or USGS topographic quads in a local file format, something like a TIFF file or an IMG file, to give our data context cartographically, or even just to keep us on track analytically. And so we might want to take advantage of the streaming base maps that are available through ESRI and other locations too, but we'll just stick to the ESRI, the Esri ones for now. Another reason why you might want to use these is if you don't have access to base map data. For example, say you're working in a remote part of the developing world where there isn't geographic data infrastructure like there are in some places in the developed world. You might find these data sources useful for at least giving you some geographic context for what you're looking at. To add these to an ArcMap window or ArcMap project, you just click the arrow right by the Add Data button, and you notice there are a couple options here. Add Data will just open your normal Add Data options here. Another one would be Add Basemap, which is the one we're going to look at, and you can even add data streaming from the internet from ArcGIS Online. But to add a basemap, we click on that button and it'll load our various options. There aren't a ton, but they are cartographically useful or useful for giving us context. OpenStreetMap has some very good global coverage. For North America, you might find US topographic maps or national map data useful, or for the world you might find imagery with labels useful. In this case, we'll drop imagery with labels on there just so that we can see what that looks like. So you click Add, and it'll take it a few moments. If you're on a wireless internet connection or slow internet connection, remember this is to stream over the internet. Some places will have high resolution data, other places may not. So it's kind of luck of the draw, but usually it's best available, whatever's best commercially available. You should be careful with this. Some things that you could do with these data are actually not permitted according to licenses. So just like software products, we typically agree to use or agree to certain terms in data use here, especially for streaming data that we don't own or control. And so if you want to know, maybe you wanted to acquire, you were willing to pay for this image in the background, you can click on this little glyph down here and it will tell you, or this icon, and it'll tell you the source. And so you could go back to the provider, often it's Digital Globe or GOI Corporation, and acquire these data. They're not going to be cheap, perhaps. And then also some of these data are publicly available, and so if they're public domain, you can go find these data available for you for free or lower cost. So here, if we click this, it shows us that the reference and world boundaries information, things like this dashed line, come from some of these places. World imagery comes from some of these places, right? So anyway, keep that in mind. You wouldn't be able to, for instance, digitize features from here and sell those features without giving Digital Globe a cut. So you should be careful. It's good to use these for context, or to explore what some piece of mystery data that don't have adequate metadata might actually be showing you. But that would be how you add a base map, and they are quite